Panther Nation, Rockstar Gang. How are we? How are we? I brought out the old mic. Felt like bringing her out for a little bit. Usually, I'm using the wireless Rode Goes, so these things are awesome though. These things are awesome. Normally, I'm using this, but I just decided to bring the mic back. Hope everyone is having a beautiful Monday. It's a beautiful sunny shine day here in South Carolina. I hope everyone had a great weekend besides watching that atrocious football team and organization that we are. First things first, if any of you want to talk shit about Bryce, go right ahead. Okay. But look, I do want to make one thing perfectly clear. Stop just going at Bryce and saying that he's the reason why we're losing. This whole organization as a whole is the reason why we are losing. The organization is a whole dumpster fire. That's right, Elizabeth. Thank you. This whole organization is a dumpster fire, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you like it or not, okay? Bryce may be a bust. To some of you, to some of you, he may be a bust. Marco Cash believes he's a bust. That's fine. I'm okay with the bust talk now. But again, I'm still 50-50 on it. And we're going to dive into more of that this morning because Bryce, we're going to be talking about his observations of this game. Marcos Cash, did not forget about how many drops that the wide receivers did have, though, that were dime throws by Bryce. I will say that. Okay. We're going to break that game film down tomorrow, by the way. So we will definitely see, right? We will definitely see the issues, right? And you know that when we do game film, we see all the issues that in the film doesn't lie, right? But again, if I could compare anything to what's going on, man, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a situation like this in football. That I've ever seen. This might be one of the worst situations in NFL history, ladies and gentlemen. This might be one of the worst situations in NFL football history that's going on right now. And there's no way to sugarcoat it less, right? There's no way to sugarcoat this thing less than what it is. Let me pull up my slideshow that I got for you guys today. As always, before you get in here, make sure you pound the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're new here, my name's Clay Ropp. I post up Carolina Panthers content weekly, 24/7. I'm here 5-6 days a week, bringing you raw Carolina Panthers NFL content week in and week out. If that is your thing, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Get in the comment section. I love to hear y'all's thoughts. Yeah, just come hang out. Come check it out. All right. I think I need to turn my TV off because I don't want to get, I don't want YouTube to think that I got like NFL. I did have NFL on the NFL network on, but I didn't want I don't want the YouTube to demonetize me or something because I got it on in the background. Carito, I hear you. My reaction is to that, dude, is just ignore it. That's all I can say. Bryce looks completely bad. We're going to dive into that. All right. So, first things first, let's get into this little bad boy here. So, this whole thing, this image in general is going to explain what we're going to be talking about today. As you're coming in, guys, make sure you pound that like button. All right. Make sure you pound that like button. All right. Every wide receiver, tight end, running back, going back to college, Bryce has ever thrown to. Interesting, Marcos. Interesting. I'd like to see a fun stat line to that. Look what happened to Stroud without his top weapons. Everyone expected Bryce to win without any top weapons. Again, we'll dive into that performance. Guys, I appreciate your comments. Y'all can go ahead and talk among yourselves about that. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that here shortly. All right. So, first things first, this has just been one big epic fail. Okay. That is what the title of this is. Obviously, you could see. Now, the Panthers' loss to the Saints, for me, was one of the most frustrating games of the season. And it was because Bryce still has not lived up to the hype. All right, surrounding him before the draft. So let's be honest. Okay. And this coaching staff did nothing to help him succeed. This GM has done nothing to help this kid succeed, though. This whole team is absolutely atrocious. Play calling's atrocious still. It's still lifeless. It's still ineffective. And again, there's reasons why that is. Okay. Because now all of this news is coming out. Okay. Now the team is in terrible position, like I was saying earlier. This might be one of the worst positionings for an NFL team I've seen. Maybe even worse when the Jets had Adam Gase. I always talk about the Adam Gase being one of the worst situation, but I don't know. I think we might have topped that. And we only got 4 games left in the season. And so for me, guys, it's hard to believe that the Panthers' offensive scheme could be any worse than it was before Frank Reich was fired. And somehow they have managed to get even worse. And we all know why now, right? This image that says the trending explains why. He's already fired. And we're going to talk about what his wife's comments. He's already fired, which means he's already checked out, folks. He's just trying to survive these last 4 weeks so he can go on a vacation. This offense has managed just to put up 24 points in 2 games since firing Frank Reich. And that's unacceptable for any team in the NFL, let alone one that had high expectations coming into the season. And let's all be honest. It's funny how we thought this team could win the division. It's funny how people thought that people thinks, that we could have won this division. And I was one of them. I was one of the clowns and that's eating that crow right now that said that at the beginning of the season, I thought this team could win because of what I saw last year and the momentum that we finished last year. And I came into this season with high expectations. But I will never, ever do that again. My expectations from now on will be realistic. My expectations from now on will definitely be managed correctly. All right. Young had his worst game of the season against the Saints. I don't care what anybody says. This was the worst game I've seen out of Bryce Young. He went 13 of 36 for 137 yards and a fumble, which might have still been an interception. They turned it into a fumble. Clearly, he's not ready to be an NFL starter. But that's not entirely his fault. So let me be clear. This kid has been put in an impossible situation by a coaching staff that has failed to put him in a position to succeed, folks. Let's be honest. This offense is a mess, and the blame falls squarely on coaching staff. Bad play calling, poor protection, terrible receivers have played a contribution to this team's struggles. Now, Young isn't immune to some of the issues the Panthers are having in the pass game. He's not the only problem. The decision to throw deep on a 4th and 1, not once, but twice, was mind-boggling to me, folks. It makes no sense to me why you would do that. So the Panthers have two talented running backs, which I think that we saw Miles Sanders finally starting to come into his own. Chuba has been doing his thing for a hot minute now, right? Both were, who both together averaged around 4.9 yards per carry in the day combined. And, turned around, handed it off to them. It's not rocket science. 4th and 1. You did it twice. On 4th and 1, you could have ran the ball with the two guys that were averaging together 4.9 yards per carry, but you chose to throw the ball deep. I mean, how hard can this be, Thomas Brown? Either like I said, it's either that he's checked out because of the news that we're hearing now, or he is just that bad of a play caller. And I think it's probably both. I think he's checked out because I would. I'm just here basically just trying to survive the 4 weeks until I go to Cancun, right? Or wherever he wants to go, Greece, whatever, right? But we put this organization, our owner, our GM, have put ourselves in such a pickle that they're about to hand over the number 1 overall pick to the Chicago Bears. You do understand that, right? So this team could certainly use its first round selection. Now, couple that with how bad the roster is and all the drama surrounding the ownership. You've got such a one big mess that someone will be tasked to clean up. We thought the Matt Rule era was bad. But this is an epic failure under the biggest microscope, thanks to this blockbuster trade that hasn't paid off and could go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history. Like I've been telling you guys, this can go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history if Bryce Young does not progress next year. If he does not show any signs of improvement, it's going to prove, and CJ Stroud continues to play the way he does or has been this season. The Panthers have duped everyone around the league, and now we're paying the price for this. We have to have some kind of change here, guys, and it needs to start at the top. This coaching staff just needs to go. You fire everyone, you start fresh, and the Panthers have to start all over. Simple as easy as that. Well, it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy if you're doing it, right? If you're in that organization, it's not easy, but it's just been one epic big failure by top to bottom. I mean, Marcos, it's not rocket science, though, man. You should be running the ball on 4th and 1 when both of your running backs are averaging 4.9 yards per carry, though. I think, like I said, I think Thomas Brown is checked out because of the news that we're hearing about it now. This is the most drama I've ever heard. Now, I remember in the Miami where that guy got caught with cocaine in his desk. Okay. That was crazy. But I have never heard an organization that has traded its mortgage away for a first round pick that hasn't progressed, but that yet the front office, the GM, didn't do anything adequately to surround this player, this kid, with the right coaching staff, with the right players, the right scheme. They lack in talent and depth in the corner position, the offensive line, the wide receiver position, and the tight end position, the defensive line, the linebacker core, and the list goes on. So this team was not built to win this year. When Scott Fitterer said that, we were all got told another lie. But I've also never seen so much coaching drama. Guys apparently texting the owner, telling him the head coach isn't working on Bryce's footwork. And then David Tepper has to tell him that. Frank Reich wasn't willing to change up the play calling to fit Bryce because he didn't get his way, not only with some of the coaching staff hiring, but he also didn't get his way when it came to his quarterback. The same thing that happened in Indianapolis, and he let his pride get in front of him and his ego, that caused him to get fired. So, he sealed his own fate in that aspect of things. I've never seen or heard a Jerry Jones 2.0 like David Tepper. David Tepper might be it has to be the worst owner, right? Has to be the worst owner, and he may go down as one of the worst owners in NFL history if he can't turn this thing around. If he does not fire Scott Fitterer, and he doesn't bring in a guy like Jim Harbaugh or Ben Johnson to be the next head coach, he doesn't get a guy it doesn't allow his GM to select the players, select the draft picks, select the next head coach. David Tepper, we will be in this for the next 5 years until someone in the NFL steps in or we find some shit on David Tepper to get him out of ownership. There's so much issues. At the beginning of the season, there was too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many egos. There was too many good coaches on one coaching staff that was not able to speak, that felt that they weren't able to speak their minds without someone demanding them and tell them, no, you're wrong and stuff like that. Everybody should have their right to their opinion. It's the same thing on my show. Everyone can come on here and say what they want. That's fine. Do it. You have the right to your opinion. And I'm okay with that. And we can debate about it if you want. Cool. Whether you think you're right or do you think I'm wrong, at the end of the day, we're either going to agree to disagree or we're going to come to terms. But in this situation, you have to be able, in the NFL, to be willing to change, but also be willing to listen to others. When we all know that everybody was trying to do the right thing here, except it wasn't what Frank Reich wanted, or wasn't what Thomas Brown wanted, and again, the egos got in the way. So it's just been a one big epic fail from top to bottom. With David Tepper meddling in football operations, the GM not adequately bringing in the right talent, the right depth to adequately surround this team to bring in a rookie quarterback, right? Much less make all those trades to get him. On top of that, okay, you make all these trades for a quarterback that we're not even so sure this is the franchise guy now because of how terrible he's playing. But again, it comes down to injuries, lack of talent and depth on the offensive line, wide receivers not getting open, other drama within the organization as well with Brian Burns and all that. And it's a list that goes on and on and on. I mean, we can literally name every single thing. Okay. It's just been an epic fail from top to bottom. It's just been one epic fail from top to bottom. I saw the 5 or 6 drops, Josh. Bill O'Brien believed Bryce Young has no limits. He compared Bryce Young. Why are we comparing quarterbacks to basketball players? I just don't understand that. Totally two different sports. I don't see how the two align, honestly. That's just me. The only way a coach will want to come here, Marcos, is unless the price is right, and then he's allowed to, you know, build the team the way he wants to build it and run the scheme he wants to scheme and all that. And Tapper's got to stay out the way. That's the issue. But yeah, but Marcos, if you get a coach that comes in here like a Ben Johnson or Jim Harbaugh, they will tell his ass to sit down. Telling you. The problem is this coaching staff had too many egos and too many yes men. And Frank Wright wasn't willing to do jack shit. I don't know if it's that, Marcos. There's just too much drama and turmoil to really evaluate, and I'll get into that into as why. Um, I mean, I believe that he definitely needs hotline help and weapons too, but I can't say that's going to be the solve his issues. Even at because here's the thing, Josh. If that's why I'm 50-50 on this. He's playing so bad though right now. But again, even if they do get him some help and it doesn't pan out, that's a possibility too. You might think he's going to pan out, Josh, and that's fine. I'm open to that debate too. I think there's two. Like I see both sides. I see where he could be in bust, but I could also see where he could be. He could still come out of this okay. I'm just not too sure yet. And because I don't think it's fair to evaluate this kid because of the drama that this organization is going through from the front office down. And then you lose, you fire your the first year head coach after 11 games. And the play calling too. It's like that's something we also got to think about. The poor protection, the wide receivers not getting open. Again, it's a multiple things here. Well, let him run to him. But I can tell you right now, if Tepper hires a Jim Harbaugh, the kid can still run to him, and Tepper is going to say, hey, I told him he handles it. You either play for him the way he does, or that's it. Like, that's what the coach is going to come in here and do and say, hey, I run this team the way I want. It's going to be like Sean Payton. You got to get a guy like Sean Payton that says, hey, this is my show. This is my rodeo. This is how we're going to do things. You're not going to tell me who I'm going to draft. You're not going to tell me what players will sign. And Bryce, you're not even on Russell Wilson's level. So you can't even make those kinds of calls. So again, it sounds like it's like almost like a Russell Wilson situation where then a guy like Sean Payne says, nah, this isn't gonna be how this show's run. So I can tell you right now, Marcos, if they get a guy like Jim Harbaugh or Ben Johnson, there will be none of that. But yes, DJ vibes, yes, Tepper is the main issue. It starts from the top. Again, until Tepper stays out of the football operations, that is when it's going to be, that's when we will see maybe some improvement. I'm not going to believe, I can't believe that statement, Josh. I think he's got promise. There's definitely some issues. His footwork is some issues. His downfield throws are some issues. So he needs to get better at deep ball accuracy, but again, there has been some nice throws that I have seen. I will say that I haven't seen not every throw is a bad throw. There have been. He's got to get better though, throwing 20 plus yards. His accuracy 20 plus yards has to be better. But that also starts with his footwork, him stepping back and stepping forward into his throws. He's too much on his tippy toes. I just want us to build the team the right way for once. Get a GM and let the GM hire the head coach. Exactly, Elizabeth. That's what I've been preaching. That's what I've been preaching to these cool cats and kittens in here. You know what I mean? Marcos, I don't think that's true. I think he has to look at this season and take a step back and think, what am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong? Has to. Josh, that's one throw, though, dude. That's one throw. That is one throw. He's missed multiple throws, 20-plus yards, or is either overthrown them or underthrown them. Oh, I honestly, Darius, I think it's going to be the same thing, bro. I think it's going to be a 3 to 5 year deal, unless David Tepper stays out of football operations and he does like what I was preaching with what Elizabeth said here. I've been preaching this. He has to build this team the right way. He has to let the GM be the GM, let him draft the guys, let him sign the guys. But you got to get a competent GM. That's the thing. Can he hire a guy like an Adam Peters who's competent enough to understand talent when it's in front of your face, right? Can you bring in the right talent? Can you bring in the right depth? Yeah, but Josh, your point's still not valid, dude. I mean, I'm not trying to argue with you and I'm not disagreeing with you. I told you I'm 50-50 on Bryce, but everybody makes bad throws, sure. But Bryce does not step into his throw. Watch the game film, man. I break it down every single week and I watch it, and he's on his tippy toes. Until he fixes his footwork, he is not going to be anything worth a damn. I'm telling you right now. He does not step into his throws. And in gun, he's doing 3-step drops. He's doing 3-step drops in gun. In gun, you only do a 1-step drop as a quarterback. 1-step drop and throw. He's doing a 3-step drop. Sometimes even more. And he's still standing on his tippy toes. And then under center, he's taking like 5 steps, and when it should just be a 3-step. I'm just saying, man, the game film does not lie when it comes to his footwork. Do I think the kid's got talent? Yes, but he has got to work on some mechanics and techniques. And it starts from the footwork and then maybe some arm technique. But other than that, he's got to get off his tippy toes and learn how to take the right step, the right amount of steps when he's dropping back. Under center, it's normally a 3-step drop. Under gun, it's normally a 1-step drop. And he does way too much dropping back. That's what's also causing Icky to get blown by, because he's stepping back so far. Icky's like, I can't go out that far. So if you watch the game film, unfortunately, the game film doesn't lie. I think he's got it. He's just got to work on some things. He's got his issues, man. Holds on to the ball too long. Still got to get better accuracy. He's got to get better accuracy, 20-plus yards still, in my opinion, but that still comes within the footwork of him stepping into his throws and planting his feet on the ground when he's stepping into these throws and not on his tippy toes. That's where it starts. I want Bryce to see badly, but man, this organization's not going to help him improve unless there's a huge overhaul. Well, again, we'll break down his performance, though. I'm going to break down his performance today, and we're going to talk more about it. All right, another news. Panthers opening odds, week 15, 3-point underdog against the Atlanta Falcons already this week. The over-under for the game's already set at 34.5. It seems expectation for a high-scoring game are at an all-time low for this one. So, but hey, in the unpredictable world of the NFL, though, we all know anything can happen, right? And I doubt it's going to be high-scoring, though, still. Chris Tabor's assessment didn't mince words about the team's performance. Definitely frustrations are bubbling over. Players look dejected. The coaching staff appears to be in search of answers. I think the whole team is just ready for a vacation. They're ready for this season to be over with. Everyone's checked out. In the words of John Taffer from Bar Rescue, shut it down. Shut it down. And then in the words of the Grinch, everything must go. Everything must go. So, Tabor's call to keep chopping wood is a rally cry for this team, desperately trying to salvage what's left of the season. That shit's gone. That shit's not happening. And 4 games to go. The Panthers have an uphill battle. Tabor's determination's unwavering, but they ain't turning shit around. We all know that. So go ahead and continue riding this roller coaster. It's one of the ones that break down, though. It's one of those roller coasters that break down. And then guess what happens? You're just hanging there upside down, basically. That's what kind of roller coaster we're on. We're on the one that just like you can't wait to ride, but yet then it breaks down, you're upside down, you hear those stories. Bryce Young's assessment, we'll get into that, but again, the media is all over this kid right now. Because of the offensive lack of execution. Now, Young has owned up to share his blame, and I will talk about his statements here later on, but his confidence is at an all-time low. We see it. But apparently, but for me, I need to see some resilience from Young. I need to see him improve, but I appreciate him taking his responsibilities of his own actions. So I've been saying it for weeks. The priority is keeping Young intact. Because at this point, what else are we going to do? We can sit here and say this guy's a bust or whatever, but at the same time, I still think that we need to support the kid. I get it that if he's not the guy, he's not the guy. But at the end of the day, he's our quarterback. What else are we going to do? But I'm not going to continue bashing the kid week in and week out. Okay. He does have his, woes. But again, the question lingers, though. What toll is this turbulent rookie season taking on Bryce Young's future? That's the question that needs to be answered. What toll is this rookie season going to take on Bryce Young's future? Because right now, this kid seems ruined, in my opinion. I mean, maybe, and he probably wasn't ready to start, in my opinion. I wanted Andy Dalton to start. I'm a big believer, even with first round picks, that you gotta let him sit. All right, some people don't agree with that. Some people say, get him out there. But I've always been a big believer in letting players sit for a year, like Patrick Mahomes did, and then look what happened. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that could have been the situation here, but you never know. And I can tell you right now, I think things would have been a lot better with Andy Dalton, because this kid was not a first round. He was not the first. He was not the first overall pick. CJ Stroud was. We all know that. And then I probably go AR-15. Man, hell, we could even have a debate to say Will Levis is better than Bryce. But again, the whole thing here is the fact that he was not ready, and that they have mishandled this kid, but this organization has been mishandled ever since David Tepper has taken over as the owner, right? We all know that. It starts from the top, people. It starts from the top. All right. I'm going to turn this, I'm going to close my blinds because that sun is killing me. There we go. Yeah, I think David Newton did mention something like that. I have to look it up. All right, let's get into the struggles. Not the struggles, but let's get into the fact about a wife outburst here, because this is why I think Thomas Brown is checked out and we've seen what we've seen. Okay. All right. Because, and we're going to dive more into this. All I got to say is Thomas Brown's wife came out basically gave her thoughts on the chaos of what's going on, and basically saying that her husband is basically been fired. They're just holding on to him to call the plays until the end of the season. Um, and because of the criticism that the offensive coordinator has faced, um, his wife just did not hold back. And in a now deleted post, it was now deleted, so I can't pull it up. Jessica Brown revealed the harsh reality of what's going on and claiming that her husband is already a dead man walking, saying he's already fired, but just basically saying that the play calling duties is he's just basically calling plays to keep them around until the end of the season. Uh, so again, the drama off the field continues to continue. I mean, this is just a sorry state of affairs for an football organization. I mean, there's no hope here. There is no nothing. I mean, basically from the Hunger Games, coaches, doing their thing. Um, you know, it's just a roller coaster ride, man. Just going from Hunger Games to this now. Coaches texting David Tepper, Frank Wright, not letting his pride get in front of him. And again, it's just a list of things that keep going on and on and on and on here. I feel like sometimes I'm just repeating myself. I feel like I'm a broken record player talking about this team with certain issues especially coming from I mean, it's just insane. It's insane. I never thought I would be sitting here talking about, I never. Oh, it happens, man. It happens. It's just like, it actually started with the Frank Wright firing, then everything coming out about why the Frank Wright firing happened. Then David Tepper at his press conference talking about how he brought in economic jobs and talked about bringing Messi in and talked about Beyonce and all this BS. And then it's led to the Hunger Games thing. And then we're hearing more about what's happened behind closed doors. And then the questions surrounding our GM Scott Fitter, is he going to be fired? It's in it now. Apparently Thomas Brown's been fired, and he's just there holding on to him. I mean, dude, this is just an epic amount of blown proportions that I've ever seen. I think ever in the football in the NFL world. There's no way there has been I don't think there's ever been an organization that's gone through this much trauma, or not trauma, but drama. That is just like clean house. David Tepper, either sell the team or get out of football operations. One or the other. Sit your ass down and get out of football operations. You're the one that has put us in this position because you felt like you knew what you were doing, but yet you don't know football. You come from hedge funds, dude. That's how you made your billions of dollars. Well, it was also that he was saying that he's trying to build facilities here in Charlotte. That's why his press conference was the way it was. I mean, and people are talking about, well, what about the 2010 season? The 2010 season isn't even close to how bad it's going here. It is not even close. It's not even close as to how bad this season has gone. Compared to, go look at 2010 to this year. Dude, 2010 beats it, or this season beats it by a long shot. Okay? Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. Guys, as you're coming in, make sure you pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'd love to get up to 30 likes on this live stream. So make sure, as you're coming in, make sure you pound that like button and feel free to get in the comment section. Would love to hear y'all's thoughts. as we're going throughout today's show. We'll probably finish off with a mock draft if y'all want to today. I'll let y'all. I kind of want to break one down. Or really would kind of want to break a mock draft down. But we got to get the 30 likes. So I'd love to get the 30 likes. So make sure you pound that like button as you're coming in and get in the comments section as we go on. So let's talk about Bryce's performance, okay? Because right now he's under siege. And there's just a lot of harsh reality going on. And I'm just going to tell you what I think, okay? Some of you may agree with me. Some of you won't, all right? First things first, let's talk about Bryce's weapons, okay? The pass catchers, okay? DJ Chark, Adam Thielen, Steven Sullivan, Tommy Tremble, Hayden Hurst. I'm just mentioning guys, okay? Whether they started in this game or not. Jonathan Mingo, blah, 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 okay? Young pass catchers, and I would honestly say lack thereof, honestly. I mean, even the guys I mentioned. I mean, it's just it's a blank wall, man. Once again, it just these pass catchers are absolutely atrocious, okay? Because when it comes into critical moments against that New Orleans team yesterday, there were several key drops that highlighted the glaring deficiencies of this wide receiver core. So that's number one, okay? Young's downfield efforts were constantly there, but the lackluster production from his supposed targets was also not there. They did not perform at the level that they should. Now, again, there's an underscoring urgency here, though. Need for a complete overhaul in the wide receiver and tight end room. Okay? Simple. That's it. Again, I'm a big believer that this whole team needs to go a complete overhaul. This whole organization needs a complete overhaul. This upcoming offseason. It has to start this upcoming offseason. Now, Bryce Young scrambling. Okay? He's 5'10". He's got a compact size, but Young's toughness has to be known and mentioned, in my opinion, because he absorbed numerous hits behind a inadequate offensive line. Let's be honest, it's inadequate. It's atrocious. They're awful. Now in this game, do I think the offensive line performed better? Sure. They definitely, all right. They definitely, I felt like, did better in this game, but there's still a lot of issues. We know that, okay? The offensive line is just not consistent enough, okay? But Bryce still showed me some athleticism with his scrambling movement, showcased some mobility, especially in situations that he needed to. He made plays happen when his pass catchers have failed to deliver time in and time out in that game. And the Panthers need to lean on Young's ability to move more frequently. That's what I'm a big believer in. Play action, bootlegs. Again, I'm a big believer in the quick game. Slant routes, hitch routes, curl flats, whatever you want to call it. Okay? One step drop and gun, three step drop, or one step drop under gun, three step drop under center. Get the ball out quick. But again, that's Bryce's issue. He holds on to the ball too long, and then his footwork, still standing on your tippy toes, but also stepping back too far. That messes up your line. Okay? I don't know how that messes up your line. People say it does. I need to understand why that's being pronounced and said more, because I don't have a complete understanding of that. I do have a little bit of an understanding, but still. We got to lean. They need to lean more on his ability to move frequently. So whoever the next head coach is that comes in here, I'd like to see that some more movement from him out the pocket making throws. Because that way it doesn't cause Bryce to sit in the pocket and then take a sack. Okay. But the risk of scrambling was definitely evident. Remember in the third quarter, that run that you saw Young somersault and land on his head after a punishing hit. I don't know how he got up from that, but he did. Given up the lack of support that wide receiver core has done. Young's creativeness and his mobility becomes a necessary tool for moving the chains forward. But you also got to be smart about it. Guys, make sure you pound that like button as you're coming in, breaking it down for you every day. Carolina Panthers, NFL content. That's your thing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 5K. We're at 30. We're almost to 3,800 right now. I think I only need 2 subscribers to reach 3,800, 200 to reach 4K, basically 1,200 to reach 5K. So make sure you pound that like button. Love to get up to 30 to 50 likes on these live streams that I pull out at week in and week out, Monday through Friday, even sometimes on Sunday. So make sure you pound the like button. Also, go check out the other videos. Go check out the shorts that I post every week. I need to start doing some editing videos, which I might start putting back up here soon. Make sure you do that. Another thing, Bryce lacks a rhythm. Okay. Again, Young continues to struggle to establish a consistent rhythm during these games. And you can see it because the complications arise from when the suspect protection, the drops, the situational football, the indifferent play calling, the occasional ill-advised distribution created by a perfect storm of disarray. That's what it is. Because despite these challenges that this team has, the Panthers remain within striking distance. And that's because thanks to a large part to their defensive coordinator, Averill. He's the only been the bright spot of this team. He's the only been maybe the smartest coach we've got on this team. You know, the moments of promise for this game was scattered throughout this game. You know, with connections to Adam Thielen, catching the eye when Young had sufficient time to navigate his progressions. And the Panthers increasingly relied on their running back attack. And led by Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders to elevate the passing struggles late in the game. And however, there have been some persistent bad habits and the footwork issues that I keep telling you guys about, combined with the need for change in this offensive philosophy, the strategy, everything I've been saying. Again, this offseason needs to be a complete overhaul. Okay? And last but not least, Bryce Young remains a tough evaluation. And he does. Because of this atrocious season going on when it starts from the top. Again, I know everybody's opinions in here about Young remain divided among fans. There's fans in my chat that believe that he's a bust. Some fans like Josh in the chat believes that we need to be patient. Okay? And you're all allowed to come into my chat and say your thoughts. And that's okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Okay? Panthers may be bad. Matt Chatter, now you're trolling. We know that there ain't no maybe in that. It's just Panthers bad. That's it. While some cite mitigating circumstances for the struggles, okay? All right. Others have already labeled him a bust, okay? And that question the Panthers' decision to draft him at that number 1 overall pick. For me, evaluating Young is a complex task, guys, because here's the reason why. Despite the clear areas where improvement is needed, which we've talked about, timing issues, confidence struggles, footwork, bad habits, all of that. Young contends with a lack of support from his teammates, though. We know that. Because some of you are saying he's a bust, have also said in the chat multiple times that this offensive line is ass. The wide receivers don't create separation. So, again, for some of you that are saying that, you've also said that he's a bust, but yet then you've also said that the teammates aren't helping him out either. So, make that make sense to me. Again, it's hard for me to evaluate this kid, guys. When I break down the game field, yes. Does he have his issues? Absolutely. But again, he has also came into one of the worst situations in maybe NFL history. So for me, with the lack of support from his teammates, the upcoming offseason for this team is going to be the biggest thing for the Panthers and Bryce Young. Getting the right coaching staff to develop him comprehensively, and then the front office to provide the necessary resources for success. But the only way that's going to be done is unless David Tepper stays out of it, stays out of football operations, does not get involved, and that he hires a GM that's allowed to draft his own players, but is also allowed to bring in the head coach that he believes in. So the verdict on Young's future, to me, remains uncertain. Now, 2024 is a pivotal year, not only for the quarterback, but this whole organization as a whole. Again, blame who you want, but don't just blame Bryce. Because we all know it's not just him. But, hey, speaking of Bryce, at least in his press conference, because of him being under scrutiny, he did come out and said, he has failed to live up to expectations. He has talked about his struggles. And then in his recent press conference, he was brutally honest about himself. He expressed his frustrations and his own lack of execution. He even said he missed a lot of things. And he said he thinks that they played well on the perimeter, but he goes, I got to continue to get better. So I got to commend him for saying that he's that he's owning up to his mistakes. Now, the candid remarks, for me, though, provides a glimpse in the mindset of a young quarterback that is facing one of the most drama challenges in NFL history, with a first-year head coach getting fired, an owner meddling within football operations, the coaching staff snitching on each other, basically a coaching staff that has now basically checked out for the season. Even your offensive coordinator, who's technically fired but is still there calling plays. But however, that from a professional level, Bryce has said, it's on me. Okay? Now, despite his honesty, okay, guys, despite his honesty, the numbers speak for themselves. Okay? Young has a 70.9 QBR rating this season, with a touchdown to interception ratio of 9 for 9. His passing yards and completion rate are also below average, and then highlighting the difficulties he has encountered in this rookie season. So to make matters worse in this whole thing about Bryce, CJ Stroud has now has emerged as a shining star, except yesterday, and then of course getting a concussion. But the Houston quarterback standout performance has been fueled by speculation about what might have been for the Panthers if they've taken CJ Stroud instead. I'm not so sure that Stroud in this situation would have even done any better because of the offensive line issues, again, and the other issues with the wide receiver and tight end core. But again, and we'll never know if that's true or not. We'll never know if CJ Stroud would have been would have done any better to the situation or not. But the starking contrast between these two rookies has intensified the scrutiny on Bryce Young. And it's fueled by debates among football enthusiasts. Hell, I've debated about it. A bunch of other probably content creators of Carolina Panthers have debated about it. Hell, even the Houston Texans fans or content creators have probably debated about it. All right. But also a lot of people have talked about the decision that we made in this draft. The situation now has just been even more perplexed because do you consider Bryce Young's college career, the Heisman Trophy, the widespread of achievements that he claims, right? So his transition to the professional level now has proven to be a formidable challenge for the kid. And this organization and fans alike find ourselves in an unexpected and uncomfortable position. That's the issue here because we are all grappling with the disparity between the rookie's college success, Bryce's college success, and his underwhelming NFL debut. So the pressure on Young to be this catalyst for change and improvement is immense. And his public acknowledgement of his own shortcoming reflects a level of maturity and accountability for me that offers not much of hope, but a little bit, even though in this gloomy area. But again, with only one victory to their name this season, the team has struggled further than Young's challenging struggles, in my opinion. The struggles of this team it goes beyond Young's struggles. Sure, he's a part of it. But again, we all know the struggles that are going on within this organization. Because all eyes are on Bryce every game. The question is, does he have the ability to rebound from his candid self-assessment as the Panthers navigate this part of the season? So, can the rookie quarterback's journey from the Heisman winner that he was to a struggling NFL player, could that become one of the season's most intriguing storylines? Because now it's leaving fans and analysts alike pondering whether Young can overcome these challenges and fulfill that promise that once surrounded his name. And I'm going to end it on this, guys. I'm going to end it, at least this segment of the show, on this. It's clear that Bryce has underperformed this season. His struggles, we all know. We notice it. We see it. We break down game film every week, and we see it. But his honesty, his self-awareness, you got to commend the kid for that. So for me, it remains to be seen whether he can rebound and can he live up to those high expectations set for himself. Because again, this Panthers organization and fans, we're all watching closely. And as the rookie quarterback navigates the remainder of the season, we'll see if he works to improve his game. All right, guys, make sure you pound that like button as you're coming in. Chance the Fapper, hey, man, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You got to unload. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I mean, this is a brutal reality check after the Frank Wright's firing, guys. This right here. This is a brutal reality check. Because Thomas Brown's wife says he's already been fired. And David Tepper is just keeping it around to call plays for the rest of the season. I mean, David Tepper is a disgrace to the Charlotte area, to the Carolina Panthers. He's an absolute disgrace. And if I had it my way and I could vote out an owner somehow, some way, or if I could call up the NFL and talk to Roger Goodell or send him an email. I don't know. I would. If there was some way I could get a hold of Roger Goodell, I would. Because this is this is ridiculous. So, Chance the Fapper, any mock drafts today? Yeah, I'm gonna do one. Defying the unwritten law of self-preservation. Brown's wife, Jessica Brown, and I'm not taking any shots at this man's wife, by the way, in this segment, okay? Went onto the offense to dismantle any illusions that her husband was content in his role. We're seeking deeper and deeper into the abyss, and has confirmed, and what many suspected already, that Brown was on the chopping block. But she goes, we're fired. No shit, lady. No offense. We already knew that. But still, she freaking went on Twitter and she snapped back at a delusional fan, throwing shade on the catastrophic time that he has had behind the scenes. And then she quoted saying, "We just have to stay behind because someone has to call the plays." So this man definitely is checked out. His wife is checked out. They're trying to sell their house. They've already planned a cruise ship probably to go somewhere, or they're, got plane tickets to go to Cancun so they can prop their feet up and probably unwind after the bullshit that they've had to go through here. And it's not Thomas Brown's fault. I'm sorry. I'm not going to blame Thomas Brown. Again, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many egos. You're an owner meddling within football operations. It was just, again, we all know what happened. With basically going from the Frank Wright firing to David Tepper coming out with his press conference that didn't give us any clarity whatsoever, to then the Hunger Games article coming out by The Athletic and explaining everything that's going on behind closed doors. And then the question surrounds, is Scott Fitter going to be here next here after this season's over with? Is Bryce Young a bust? And the list of things go on and on and on. And I mean, there's so much, there was not any more controversy that was needed. Because we already knew that he was still calling plays, but it became a point of this contention this season. And it's, adding a circus-like atmosphere to an unfolding disaster here. Frank Wright's, ill-fated reign only intensified the embarrassment when the team started out 0-6. And then Wright's feeble attempt to salvage, basically, I guess, his name, whatever you want to call it, relinquished his play calling duties after the week 7 bye. All right. Mad chatter. Yeah, I probably was. Dan always reaches out to me sometimes to come on his show. So handling the reins to Thomas Brown. So the results could have been more impressive, but with a 39 points scored in 3 games, that's an average of 13 points a game. That's just absolutely atrocious. Yet it's even in his moment of this triumph and securing a single win in 3 attempts. I mean, Brown couldn't escape couldn't escape his fate in this situation. Let's be honest. This is a gauntlet here, okay? And you're getting hovered by an owner, and Wright seamlessly snatched that play calling back, right? And then orchestrated a return. Then he puts a meager 10 points up in a humiliating defeat to the Dallas Cowboys. And the saga unfolded as a twist, as a tragic comic spectacle, a testament to the chaos, and it has become synonymous with the Panther season. And Miss Jessica Brown, she was definitely evidently, harboring no illusions about the grim fate that awaits her husband, issued a challenge to potential replacements, daring them to give Tepper a holler, basically in her comments. And in a final bidding remark, she underscored the unbearable reality of their situation. And she goes, as if this is fun for us. The Browns, it seems, are ready to sever ties with the Panthers because it's a sinking ship. We all know that. It's exploded. It's not even a sinking ship. It's exploded, right? Someone attached some C4 and clicked the button and it blew up. And all they're leaving behind is just a legacy of dysfunction and despair. And you know what? I don't blame Miss Brown. Good for her. Maybe her, or maybe her as a wife, maybe David Tepper will see that. Maybe we'll see something change. Will we see something change is the question, right? Will we see something change from David Tepper this offseason? Matt Chatter, he's like 5'10" and like 3/4, something like that. The Dolphins have Waddle. I think Frank tried to do Thomas Brown a solid and take back play calling to save Thomas Brown's reputation. Maybe. I mean, there could be speculation in that. There could be some speculation in that, but I can't say yes or no to that, my friend. I can't say yes or no to that, my friend Marcos. I really can't. All right, let's grab that. Let's do that mock draft. We'll finish out the show with this mock draft. And I'm going to break this one down. We're going to kind of do the mock draft that I did the other day, where I made some trades. And I'm going to try to make it realistic as possible. So let's see. So there's going to be some trades in this, guys. There's going to be some trades in this mock draft, okay? We're going to leave this down here. We're going to go halfway here. This is going to go all the way here. We'll go up. We'll go up one here, and we'll go up one there. Okay. Try to make it as realistic as possible. We're going to do 7 rounds, and I'm going to keep them or trade them, go down the roster, please. Yep, we will. So, we're going to enter the draft. We're not going to start the draft. So, if I'm going through this roster, right? I mean, the wide receiver room, honestly, I could give 2. Which simulator you're using? PFF. Now, if we're in this, right? If I'm in this, first things first, I'm trading Hayden Hurst. So, I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing, okay, who needs a tight end? Okay. Trade Derek Brown and Brian Burns for this mock draft? Absolutely not. Chance the Fapper. We'll trade Brian Burns, but I'm not going to trade him. Now, here's the thing. I think I could get Hayden Hurst for a 3rd round pick. Not a 3rd, but maybe like a 5th or a 6th. Let's see. Let's go down to the 5th. Who needs a wide receiver in here? Or a tight end, I mean. Maybe the Chargers okay, it won't let me do it. Okay, I got to wait till I get into the rounds to trade. So let me offer a trade to, oh, well, actually, I could do it right now. Hold on, where's the Chargers at? All right, they're right here. So that's your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Okay, let's see if they offer this trade to them. All right, so we were able to trade Hayden Hurst. So we're going to trade again. Got a 5th round pick for him. So we're going to trade. Now, the next person, don't block Chance, man. And Matt Chatter, you don't have a right to say who gets blocked and who doesn't. Can I make it bigger? Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Not me. There we go. Is that better? Josh says pause. Oh, because I said I can make it bigger. Okay. Relax. All right. Relax. All right. So now as we go down this list, I'm going to try to trade Ian Thomas. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going to see who is. Okay. The Bengals are down there. I'm going to just trade him for a 7th round pick just to get him off this team. Where's he at? All right. So here, give me your, can I have your 7th? Can I have your 238 7th, maybe? Would you be nice enough to do that? Sweet. Okay, so we get that guy off the team now. All right, so that handles that. So, really, we still got Steven Sullivan, Tommy Trimble, which I'm cool with. So now, I'm not going to trade Miles Sanders because his contract is still with us, so us trading him is going to do us no favors. So now I'm going to trade Dante Jackson. I would time out Clay from mouthing off to me. Good luck with that. So now I'm going to trade Dante Jackson. And I think I traded him for a 5th round pick. And I think I can. I think I was able to get like a 5th round. I think I was able to trade with the Cardinals for that 169 pick. So if I go to the 169, bam, we'll offer that trade. Now here's the reason why I'm trading Dante Jackson. So let me make sure I explain this to you correctly. We trade Dante Jackson because it's going to save us in cap. It's going to save us $15.8 million in cap space next year. That Hayden Hurst trade that I just did, it's going to save us some cap. All right. The Ian Thomas trade I did, it's going to save us some cap. Okay. The next person I'm going to try to trade is Jeremy Chin because that's another person that's going to save us some cap. Because they're not using him correctly. As much as I would love to keep him on this team, but they're not using him correctly, and there's no point of keeping him. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go down to the 4th round. I'd like to try to get a 3rd round pick for him. I doubt that the thing is that it's harder. Now, where I have the settings, it's harder to make trades in this. But someone like... And you'll see why I make these trades, because then you'll see how I draft, and we'll be able to just go through the draft. So, who needs a safety? Green Bay at 120, 4th round. Offer a trade. Bam. Now, last but not least, the last person I'm trading is Brian Burns. Because here's what's going to happen with Brian Burns. Okay? They didn't re-sign him this offseason, right? Last year, they didn't accept that two first-round picks, second-round pick for him from the Los Angeles Rams. So what are they going to do with him? Well, they're either going to have to sign him or they franchise tag him and trade him. Okay? His performance this year, and it's probably because he's checked out as well. He tried to do the best he could to be as a business person and be professional about the situation that's going on here, but he hasn't. Okay? So I don't think he's worth $30 million. So I'm going to trade him. And I'm going to trade him for a 1st round pick. Now, who needs an edge rusher? I don't see us getting 2 1st round picks for this man. I really don't. Okay? I think that if you're, who needs an edge? Well, can I trade him for the 4th pick to Washington? Doubt it. Offer the trade. No. So they're not taking that. Right? Who also needs an edge rusher? The Bucks. I'm not going to trade within the division. Okay. But I could trade the Broncos for that 13th pick. Could trade the Seattle for that 15th pick. But I'm going to try to go for the later rounds, and here's the reason why. If I trade for a later first-round pick that needs an edge, right? Jacksonville has been in talks that they were interested in him. Baltimore was definitely interested in him. And I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to go with the Jacksonville pick because here's why. I might actually be able to scheme them out of a first-round pick next year for next year. So if I give him for this, they give me a first round next year, there's a possibility. Now, if I add in this, okay, probably not. Now, here's the thing. Look at that. See, if you go for the later rounds, guess what? I guarantee you if I could get a first, a second, a third. I say who says no to this trade? You get Brian Burns. You get a first round pick at 26. You get an extra second round pick. And you get another third round pick. Do y'all say yes to this trade? Because that's a Brian Burns trade we can make. Another one we could do is this. I'm going to show you another trade we can probably make. Seattle at 15. Trade for him for the 15th. That, you could offer him that. It says 86% chance they'll accept. Most of the time with PFF, at 86%, they're not doing that. 97%, I guarantee you they would. Okay? Another team that could be interested in him, who I think would go for him, is possibly the Broncos. Right there at that 13th pick. Guarantee you, 13th. See, no. Now, maybe they would do a first and a third. What's up, Real Wyatt? I didn't see you in the chat. You just got in here, did you not? Is that realistic? I think it could be. So, here's the thing. Broncos, you could take the 13th and their third round pick. So, their first and their third. Seattle, you could probably take their first and their third. And then, you're not going to get an extra round pick out of this, okay? Then, Jaguars, we got the 26th, the 58th, and the 90th. So you get a first, I know it's a late first, but then you get an extra second round pick, and you get a third. Because then now they've got Brian Burns and Josh Allen coming off the edge. So I'm going to offer this trade because we're getting extra draft picks. There we go. Now let's start the draft. So now look at this draft board, man. You got a 26, a 33rd, a 58, a 65th, a 90, a 101, a 120, a 138. Dude, look how many draft picks we got. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 draft picks. 14 draft picks now. So, trust me, there's a method to my madness. So, let's start the draft. Chicago's up first. They take Williams. Drake May probably to there. Yep, they'll probably take Harrison here. They're going to take a tackle here, which they always do. Same guy. They take an edge rusher there. There has been... So, I want to pause real quick. There has been talks that apparently at this 5th round pick right here, if that's where the Bears are, they could be also they could also be a interest for Brian Burns for that 5th round pick there from them. right? So there has been rumors about that. Josh, I wouldn't say that's highly unlikely. Jacksonville's interested in him, getting a first, second, and third round pick for him. And that, I mean, I don't see why Brian Burns isn't worth that. Now you're not getting an extra first out of it, but you're getting 3 draft picks for him. I guarantee you Jacksonville would hammer that because then they have him and Josh Allen on the other side. I guarantee you Jacksonville would hammer that trade. I don't think it's not realistic. Malik Neighbors, Newton off the board there. Bo Nix. I don't think Bo Nix is going that high. Rum's off the board. Chop is off. Kool-Aid's off. Nate Wiggins is off. Marcos, I'm not too sure. I've heard that it was that first round pick and possibly like a third round pick straight up. There's been rumors that, but then I've also heard that it was just going to be, it could just be the first pick and him straight up too. They're not willing to budge more than that. I just don't see us getting 2 first round picks for him. I just don't. So here's the thing. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? Y'all know where I'm going. I'm going wide receiver here. Now that I made that trade with Jacksonville, I got the 26th pick. We need playmakers. I'm getting Xavier Legette, my friend, guys. I mean, I think Legette is better than Mitchell. I think he's better than Xavier Wardley. That's just my opinion. The guy runs a 4.29. He's 6 foot. He's like 6'3", almost 230. He's a guy that can go up and get the ball, but he's also a guy that he reminds me of like a DK Metcalf almost. I've got him ranked as I want to say I've got him ranked like as my 3rd wide receiver. I think I got Marvin Harrison at 1. I think I got Neighbors at 2. Maybe I have Rome at 3, and then I got to look at my board again. Actually, let me pull up my draft board while I'm doing this because I do have a draft board. I mean, I think Caleb Williams' issue is that when he came out and said that he wanted, I got Xavier at 4. That's right. I have Xavier at 4. So I think the issue with Caleb Williams there real wide is that when he came out and said that he wanted stock in the like 10% stock of the team, I was just like, yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Also, go look at Caleb Williams. I don't think Caleb Williams is as good as everybody thinks he is. Go look at Caleb Williams against top 25 teams. Dude gets killed. All right. With a 33rd pick in the 2nd round, the Carolina Panthers select, again, I'm going tackle here. I'm getting a tackle. Okay. Build the team up. We're going to get a tackle here because we're going to get a left tackle in Jordan Morgan. We're going to move him. We're going to move Icky to left guard. That's what we're going to do here. There we go. So now we've got a wide receiver. We got a wide receiver there. We also have this extra 2nd round pick now with the trades that I've made. I was able to get a playmaker wide receiver. Now I've built the offensive line back up. And I believe I'll be able to I think I'll be able to get another playmaker right here. Yep. 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 Let's see what we got. Archie Manning. Oh, God. We're talking about Archie Manning now. Good Lord. Y'all are talking about way too far down the road. The kid hasn't even played a full game in Texas yet. Somebody here? Oh. Hold on, guys. Someone's at my door. Give me 2 seconds. I'm not done. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Someone was dropping something off. Okay. Okay. There is Mr. Jackson Powers Johnson that I want really bad. Now, I could go wide receiver here, but I've got the 65th pick too. Right there at the beginning of the third round. I like Malachi Corley. I like Troy Franklin. Again, is Jackson Powers going to be there? I don't think so, because here's the reason why. I think that the Cowboys possibly could take him. Lions possibly could take him. They're the ones who probably are looking for a center, right? Back to back behind me. So here's the issue. I'm taking Jackson Powers because I need to build up that offensive line. Bradley Bozeman has been atrocious. We need to build within the future here. So I'm going with Jackson Powers Johnson. Building those trenches up, folks. Denzel Burke went off the board. Malachi Corley to San Fran. Troy Franklin, okay, to there. Barrett. Now I'm going to get another. Now, here's the thing. I'm in the third round. I see one of my running backs I want there, so I'm going to hold off on that. Now I've got the offensive lineup. I got me a wide receiver. Luke Lachey I could take there. I like Cade Stover better. Out of all these guys, I think Cade Stover or Jaheim Bell are the guys you want to go for in the tight end position. Trey Knox, he's okay. He would be a development talent. But I think that AJ Barner's also good. I think I have AJ in my top 5. But I'd rather have Cade Stover. So in this situation now, I kind of want to look at I want to look at the wide receiver position again. Johnny Wilson's there at 76. I kind of want to wait. All right. I think that I could wait and get Jermaine Burton. Because again, here's the thing that I'm doing, guys. When I'm drafting these wide receivers, I'm looking for speed. Okay. I'm thinking that if we're going to stick with Bryce, right? We're sticking it out with Bryce. That is my mindset here. I'm sticking it out with Bryce. So now I have Xavier Legette, 4.29 speed, right? Then I have, right? I just got my left tackle. Going to move Icky to the left guard. Okay. Got a center to replace Bradley Bozeman with because we know how bad Bradley's been this season. Okay. So now your offensive line is set. Okay, besides maybe the right guard position. But now that we have these extra draft picks, I might even be able to get a right guard out of this situation. But I'm looking for speed. So Jermaine Burton, I know he's a cancer in the locker room. I don't really give a rat's ass. It'll be different. But then I'm looking at the defensive line here. And Mekhi Wingo is calling my name to come and help out Derek Brown in that middle, in that defensive line. Because we need it. Right? Again, then I could go corner here. Let's see what we got in the corner position. DJ James, solid corner here. But then I got Kyrie Johnson and Chris Abrams on the back end that I could pick up, who are both solid prospects. So for me here, I'm probably going to rock with Mekhi Mwingo because I'm getting the best value out of him at that pick. And Derek Brown's a beast, but now he's got some help. I'm also probably going to try to find a middle linebacker in this draft. Because, again, when's the last time we've had a guy that I think the problem is with our expectations, right, for our linebacker core. We haven't had that Thomas Brown and that Luke Kuechly since those kinds of days, and we need that back. We need that culture back in that middle linebacker core. So we're going to hammer that next here. Okay? We are going to hammer that next. If it's right. If it's right. If not, we might hammer the wide receiver core again. What's going on? Let's see. Okay, now we're back. So now we got the 90th pick. All right, in the third round. See what wide receivers available. I mean, Devontae Walker would be nice. I mean, I'm probably gonna hold off until I get Jermaine Burton again. You know. Justin Bryant, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you joining the live stream. Let's look at the tight end position again. Okay, we still got some decent tight ends there. Let's look at the linebacker core. Dan Stutzman, who's okay. I'm not a big Dan Stutzman fan. Is Chris Broswell still here? Nah, Chris Broswell's off. He's way off the board. What am I thinking? Dan Stutzman wouldn't be bad. I've got him 7th off my board. Is Junior Carlson here? I like Junior Carlson. And I do like Tommy. I mean, the thing is with Dan Stutzman, he's great in coverage. He often arrives at the receiver at the same time the ball's as the ball, giving up a few yards after the catch. Then you've got Colson, who can be used as a rangy run defender inside. He's very instinctive when it comes to locating the ball. And then you got Eichenberg here, who can be used as a rangy run defender inside. Instinctively when it comes to locating the ball. He's got the quickness. I don't know. I might wait. But the problem is I see your comment, Josh. I mean, I like it. The problem with him is with his. Where do I have him on my board? I don't even know if I have him top 10. Dude, I don't even have him at top 10 on my board. I've got him at 24th. Now, he does have 4.38 speed. He's 6'3". He's 205 pounds. The problem is he's average to me. He's average. I'd rather have Brendan Rice than him, honestly. But Brandon Rice, who's 6'3", he's 210, runs a 4.338 speed. I mean, I wouldn't mind hammering that. I think maybe I'll take a chance and take Brendan Rice. Bring in that Rice legacy, maybe. So I'll bring him in. And now we're into the 4th round. Granted, we've got a lot of draft picks here, folks, because of the trades we made. We also saved a lot of cap space with the trades I made, just so y'all know. We saved probably around, I want to say we saved ourselves probably around 16, maybe more than that, over $16, $17 million in cap space for this upcoming offseason with the trades I made. So now we go 4th round here. Tight ends are still good. Kind of want to look at some edge defenders now. Might have missed out on one. Antoine Powell, Ryland, I kind of like. I think he's very good. Just trying to see if there's anybody else. Jordan Birch. I know a lot about Jordan Birch. He used to be a Gamecock before he transferred there. Nelson Caesar is a good one. We'll see if he's still there. Again here, now that we've got so many draft picks, I kind of want to look at the running back. And I really like Audric Esteem. So I'm going to explain to you why I like Audric Esteem. There's a reason behind that. Number one, if you're looking for a workhorse running back, have no fear. Audric Esteem is here. Okay? The dude is 5'11", 230 pounds, runs a 4.40. Okay? You're talking about a guy that's a workhorse running back. This is the guy you want. Okay? I mean, look at that. 12 games played, 209 attempts, 1,300 yards, and he averages 6.4 yards a game with 18 touchdowns. That's what you need to line up alongside Chuba Hubbard. Let Chuba be that elusive guy. He can still have that downhill run. But again, you get a guy like this, and we're back to that power run style. Guy's going to get you all the yards that you need. So I'm taking a halfback right here. But now I have the 120th, the 138. And we got us 2 wide receivers. So I'm probably not going to hammer another wide receiver because we got us 2. We got 2 guys that have 4.3 speed, right? What's crazy about it, like I told y'all, man, gonna give you a fun stat about Xavier Legette. Xavier Legette, 6'3", 227, runs a 4.2940. Okay? He's got the athleticism. It's insane. He's a freak. I might go tight end here with the 120, but we'll see who's available. Okay, so now I'm going to hold off because I'm going to wait for Cade Stover to come available, and I'm going to get him for the right value. So we've gone wide receiver twice. We've got running back, offensive tackle, and inside we got our center. This is where I may look at the corner. May wait, hold off on that. Maybe go edge rusher here. I think I could hold off on that. I think Mohamed Kamara might be a guy that we could look at. He's got I don't know how far I have him on my board though. Looking at my board, I got him there. I mean, I've got him on number 13th. I got him as 13th. I mean, he can play D-line or edge. He's 6'1", 250. Kind of has that classic frame. He's got long arms. Very explosive. He's got the powder. He's got the ability to close. I mean, he's very good at what he does, as you can see. 14 sacks. Granted, he plays at Colorado State. As you can see, the teams that he played good against, I mean, again, these are lower level teams, but you're still putting up 14 sacks. 10, 11 quarterback hits, 35 hurries. I mean, again, you could get him. Cornerback. Well, the thing is I'm thinking about waiting. We got so many draft picks now, guys, because of the trades I made. Panthers Germany podcast is in here. Justin Bryant's in here. Josh pulling a fit on the cornerbacks. Hey, we need cornerbacks, man. We need cornerbacks. We're lacking the depth there. Kind of like Shamar Turner too, though. I think I got Shamar Turner higher than him. Let me see where I got Shamar. Maybe I don't. Shit, I don't have Shamar that high. Okay. This is a tough call here. What about linebackers? What are we looking at linebackers wise? Oh, look at my draft board. Where do I have these two at? I got Junior at 9, and I got Tommy at 10. Let's get a linebacker here. I'm gonna go. I mean, damn, Jalen Ford's still there. Shit. Who else is still here? Michael Barrett's still here. I mean, am I wasting a pick on a... This is a tough call here. What about the cornerback position? I got a one. Okay, so I have 138. That's the 5th round. And then after that, I have the 149th. Fuck. This is tough, man. Because I don't want to make the wrong moves, but then again, I kind of like A.J. Barner, but he just... Again, I mean, you've been targeted 29 times. He's a block. I feel like he's more of a blocking tight end than anything. I mean, I got A.J. Barner in my top 5. No, I got him at 6. I mean, Jaheim Bell at the end could be nice, though. I mean, what wide receivers do I got available? What about inside? There's Cooper Beebe. This is tough, man. I ain't taking Shiloh Sanders. Rather not. I'll go Muhammad. I'm going to get an edge rusher. We'll get an edge rusher. Now we've got everything that the team technically needs. Now we can kind of just really do whatever we want. CB Marcos, I'm going to get a CB. I'm going to get a CB. There's going to be guys there. Watch. I'll be able to get I'll probably be able to get Kyrie Jackson, or I'll probably be able to get Chris. He's got that long last name. But we needed an edge rusher. And Muhammad Kamar, in my opinion, was the best one there available at the time. Value-wise. But, again, we've got a lot of draft picks left there. I mean, this is going to be a long mock draft. All right, so we're on the board with the 139th pick in the 5th round. The Carolina Panthers select Kyrie Jackson. We possibly could double down on corners here. We possibly could double down on corners here. James Harris says Lad Monkey. I don't need Lad Monkey. I got too many. I already got enough wide receivers already. I already got 2 drafted. Let's see what quarterbacks are available. I was just looking. Jordan Travis is there. Monkey's already off the board though, bro. So we're in the 5th round, by the way. Tight end. Gonna wait for Cade. Okay. Running back, we already got one. We got our offensive tackle. We got our linebacker. We got our edge rusher. We got our defensive lineman. What about linebacker? Okay. Now this could be intriguing. This is where I might take a linebacker if it's available there, right? Because I got a center, Marcos. I got a center. You'll see them once we finish up. Cedric Gray wouldn't be bad. But I felt like I already took a linebacker here. I'm pretty sure. Didn't I take... Yeah, I took the kid from Michigan, did I not? Hold on. So first round, we took Xavier Legette. Second round, we took Jordan Morgan. And then our center, we got in the second round as well. We took defensive lineman Mekhi Wingo in the 3rd. We took Brendan Rice at wide receiver 90. So we took him. We got our power back in the 4th. And we got our edge rusher at the 4th at 120. We took Kyrie Jackson, corner. All right, so we haven't taken a linebacker. So this might be a good time to take a linebacker. And if I'm taking a linebacker with the names on this board, I'm probably going to take Samil Mon Jr. or maybe Cedric. Cedric Gray would be good. I also like Dumas Johnson. But I think Cedric Gray, for what we're looking for, pass rush, coverage, kind of does it really all. His run defense is okay. But overall, he kind of just does everything, at least from the standpoint of PFF. And then for my draft board, I've got him top 10. So I think bringing in a North Carolina boy wouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't be a bad thing. So I'm going to go Cedric Gray. B. Amos, we got a question. Would you trade a late round pick for a guy like Isaiah Likely, Baltimore? That guy's nice. He has a lot of upside. I like Isaiah Likely. I went to college where same college Isaiah Likely went to. I think he would be solid because he's a possession, vertical threat kind of tight end, which is what we need. I mean, I definitely would be open to it. But I think even in this draft, you're going to be able to get some decent guys for the tight end position. And even in this position where I'm at now, I mean, there's Cade Stover. I mean, that's who I was going to go anyways, tight end here. But now I have another 5th round pick because of the trades we made. So now I look at corners. Willie Roberts is nasty. But what does this team really need? Well, could go and get a left guard. Don't really need it, though. Miles Frazier, right guard. Pass blocking right guard. Pretty good right there. But with the 169 pick, maybe I could add an extra wide receiver. All right. Well, there's Muhsin Muhammad's boy. So maybe we ride with a little Muhsin Muhammad. Huh? What do y'all think about that? So we get an extra playmaker on the outside now. I took Stover. I took Stover, Josh. Now we've got 2 7th-round picks and a 6. Yeah, I got Stover. Sure did. You'll see the draft after I'm done. Now we go corner. Probably going to take Willie Roberts here. I mean, his coverage grade is better. I mean, let me look at my board. Is it Willie Roberts or do I want to go Willie Roberts or do I want to go Smith Wade? Let me see. The question is, do I want to go Willie Roberts or Smith Wade? Problem is they're both slow as shit. They both run 4.5s. Tony Grimes, I can't believe he's in this. I mean, I feel like Willie Roberts overall does a little bit more. I'm going to take Willie Roberts here to get that extra corner. Now we don't have any picks till the 7th round. See how it pans out. I mean, again, this is based off a consensus that we trade away 5 guys, right? You trade away Ian Thomas, help save cap space. Same thing with Hayden Hurst. You trade away Dante Jackson. That's another cap space help. And then you trade away Jeremy Chin. But then also you trade Brian Burns because most likely he's going to get franchise tagged. And then it's going to be trading him away. Let's see how this pans out, though. Because like I said, guys, doing these I think in real life, that's something that they need to look into from a front office standpoint. What guys are going to save us cap space, and the guys that aren't going to hit us too much in dead cap. And based off my understanding, those guys maybe off of dead cap, I think maybe would only cause like 1.6 million or 1.8 million at most for dead cap. But then you're getting $16-17 million on top of the cap space you already have. And especially with Dante Jackson with a $15.8 million contract. I mean, I think it makes the most sense. That's just me. Wow. Wow. Oh, I'm just looking. All right. There's so many draft picks, though. This is so many draft picks here. All right. Tight end, no. Wide receiver, I think we're got to be good on. I mean, we could bring in another running back possibly if we want to. Bring in another tackle if we want to. Do we really need to? I don't think so. Maybe go after another corner in this situation. Bring in that corner depth. I don't think so. Do we get a safety in this position? Possibly, because we did trade away. We did trade away Jeremy Chin. So, okay. I guess someone just got dropped off from the bus because all I heard was. Let's see. Trying to look at my board real quick. Trying to look at my board real quick here. Huh. Is Kalen Bullock here? No, he's not. Okay. Let's see. Josh Proctor's there. Rod Moore's gone. James Williams, no. Nope, he's not there either. Jack Howell's off the board. Jontrey Hunter off the board. Damian Johnson. Is Jerome Tate here? No. This is a tough one. The thing is that I'm trying to see. I mean, like, I got a big board here, so. Wow. There is so many guys in my list. I got 11 pages long on this list of guys that I've, like, put together. But I put the safeties and the corners together, which was my downfall. The fuck? Wow. I went way too far back. I kind of want to go safety here. I mean, we could bring in Sam Hartman. Y'all want to bring in Sam Hartman? I know some of you want to bring Sam Hartman in, right? Y'all want him to come in there and compete? Let's see where I got Tony Grimes at. Actually, nah. I got Frontrell. Well, wait. Tony Grimes didn't even play this year, so I'm not drafting him. It would either be Frontrell or Dante Kent. Kind of like Dante better. Let me see. I mean, Tony Grimes is there, though. I mean, he's very good. Plus, he runs a 4.3 speed. He's 6 foot, 190. If I know that watching his game film, he jams the receivers up very well. He has the flexibility to turn and run, though. He can show stiffness at times, but dude, I mean, the guy's got the speed that you want in a corner. Plus, it's a late round. You're getting him in the 7th. So you know what? Why not? Just why not? We'll just take Tony Grimes to add on. We'll just take an extra. We will take an extra. All right, let's see. Last pick here. Last pick. And we will be done with the mock draft. No, he sucks. This is where you kind of can just BS it if you want. Josh Proctor wouldn't be bad, actually. And there you have it. This is a big draft board. This is the biggest one I've ever done. I mean, this is massive. This is absolutely massive. Oh, I mean, dude, this is crazy. All right, so again, in the first round, you get a first, second, third for Brian Burns, Jacksonville. You get their 26th pick. You're able to get Xavier Legette. And then you get a second round pick. You're able to get Jordan Morgan, your next left tackle, guy who is a franchise left tackle. Okay, even though it says D- there, it's just because PFF, they give you a D- because they have him 50th coming off the board. Again, this guy is not going to last to the number 50th pick. Okay, Jordan Morgan's not. This guy's not going to last to the 57th pick. I don't care what you say. Both of these guys are coming off the board at least in the second round. Okay, these guys are also first round talent, but again, there's so much talent in the wide receiver position. You got the quarterbacks. But again, but we were able to get that. We already had a second round pick, right? We had the first pick in the second round. But then you're able to get Jackson Powers Johnson as well in this trade via Brian Bird. So then you get Jordan Morgan at left tackle. You get a center. Okay, so you replace Bradley Bozeman. You get your left tackle Jordan Morgan. You move Icky to the inside. As we go down. So how was I able? Well, we already had our third round pick, which was the 65th pick. Okay. But again, I was able to get another wide receiver in Brendan Rice at the third round. All right. Again, we got speed. You got a guy here, Xavier Legette, who's 6'3", 220, runs 4.2, 940. Then you get a Brendan Rice, 6'3", 210, runs a 4.3, 40. Okay. Guys should be able to get open. But then you get Mekhi Wingo. Okay. Get Mekhi Wingo at the 65th pick, and you're able to help Brian Burns on the inside. Okay? Then we traded Jeremy Chin to get that extra fourth pick. Well, we get Audric Esteem, who I think is a great running back, who's got 4.4 speed. He's a workhorse running back, that's what you need. He's that downhill runner style running back. You get him. You get a guy like that to help out in the backfield, help out Chuba Hubbard, right? Fight the good fights for him. You know what I mean? Let Chuba be that elusive guy. Let this guy be your power back, your workhorse back, right? Then you got Muhammad Kamara, an edge rusher who I think is probably a sleeper. Okay? I have him top 12 on my board. I think I actually have him at number 12. So you're able to get an extra fourth round pick with Jeremy Chin. But again, with the Jeremy Chin trade, we're not using him correctly, and you save cap space. And you also get a fourth round pick for him. Makes sense. Okay? So we trade Hayden Hurst, another guy that you could trade and make some cap space room with this kind of trade, but also get a pick for him. So then we're able to get Kyrie Jackson. Okay, you're able to get Kyrie Jackson because as we go down, you'll see why we went with a corner here. We get Kyrie Jackson. You get some fresh legs in the corner room. You get a linebacker, Cedric Gray, a North Carolina kid, and you build up in two positions that are needed, definitely, and the cornerback room and the linebacker room. Okay. Then you get a nice tight end here in Cade Stover, and then you get Moose Muhammad. It only makes sense to bring in Moose's son. All right. But again, we got the extra 5th round pick because of Dante Jackson. Because guess what happens when you trade Dante Jackson? You save yourself $15.8 million in cap space next year. Okay? You trade Dante Jackson and you save $15.8 million in cap space. So then as we go on, we get an extra corner here. We get another extra corner here. Honestly, those last 3 picks was just because why not? I mean, really, for me, I feel like once you get to that 6th, 7th round pick, you're just taking guys. Right? And then you get a Josh Proctor, who is actually a pretty solid safety, I might add, for a 7th round pick. So, because then we got rid of Jeremy Chin, but this guy, he's not like Jeremy Chin. He's not as versatile as Jimmy Chin, but he's a very good safety. But then you bring in 3 corners right here, right? Grimes, he's 6 foot 190. He's got that 4.3 speed. Again, he's very good at jamming wide receivers. He has that flexibility to turn and run. But there is times he does show some stiffness. With Willie Roberts, Willie Roberts is a guy. Let me find my draft. I'm gotta go through my draft board and find what I got about him. Yeah, the thing about Willie Roberts is he's 5'11", runs a 4.5 40, but he's willing to he's very capable of hit and run support. He closes fast to make plays against those quick screens. He's a wear zone corner, so which kind of fits the scheme that we got going on over there. So Willie Roberts is the guy for me. And if you want to talk about Josh Proctor, let me find Josh Proctor's profile that I got. Josh Proctor, again, this guy, he's a downhill tackler. He plays with a physical edge. He's effective as a blitzer. He's got good speed in pursuit. That's why I like Josh Proctor. Even getting him in that last round is pretty damn good. He's 6'2". He's got that 4.5 speed. So I like it. I mean, I think that we got him just because we traded Ian Thomas. Again, another guy that is going to help us in cap space. So again, I want to show you what happens even if we release these guys that I'm mentioning to. Just want to show y'all real quick. Where am I at? Where's the Panthers? Where are you at? There we are. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to show y'all this. So here's the reason why we make those trades. So the trades we made in that mock draft, right? I'm going to show you why it affects the cap space. So let's say we trade Burns, right? And we're trading him to, like we did in this mock draft. So this is what we're going over. So let's say we trade him. Okay, we just traded him for... We'll just process this trade. I guess it won't let me do draft picks. I'm just going to say we traded him. Okay. All right. It won't let me do that. Wait, reset. So the cap right now Okay, wait. Let's do 2024. Okay, 2024. Where is Burns, though? I guess it doesn't really count that way. All right, let's just say we do this. So let's say we trade him. I guess because technically it has to count for this year, not the 2024 season. So we go to Jacksonville. All right, we trade Burns. Okay, we get 23 million back. You got, or now we are up to 23 million because we were in 7 million cap space. Now you trade him. We're just going to continue trading here. Nah, because see, I got to do it in 2024. That's not how it works. Let me get out of this one and get into the other one I did it with. It wasn't Spot Tracker. It was, I think it was Over the Cap. Yeah, it was Over the Cap. So if we go into 2024, we go right here. Okay. So right now we're in the 2023 season. This is the dead money that we're getting hit with right now. Okay, a total of $59 million in dead cap. So again, let's say we make those trades, right? All the trades that I was making. All right, let's just say this. It doesn't even show Brian Burns on here, so I can't even mess around with that. But now we're down to dead cap. We're down into this. So let's say we do Dante Jackson. Let's say we trade pre-June. Where's my little thing over here? Can I do positions? Let's do a trade calculator. No, contract. Trying to figure out how I did this last time. Was it the calculator that I got to click on? Might be the calculator I got to click on. Yes, here we go. Okay. All right, perfect. So this is what we do. So watch this. And Shaq could be one of these people we cut too. So let's say we just cut him, okay? This is what I want y'all to see. So we cut Dante Jackson. Okay? Watch the cap. Okay? Watch the cap right here. Right up here where it's highlighted. Okay? Dante Jackson. Right now the cap space is at 39 million next year. We cut him. Watch what happens. Boom. We just saved $8 million. Actually, it looks like more than that. All right. Dead money, we take 9. Cap savings, we take 6. Okay, that's no big deal. But we only have 1 point something million in dead cap after this year. All right. Then you go down to a guy like Ian Thomas. You submit him. Dead money, 3 million. You get 2.3 million back. Hayden Hurst, you cut him. You get that out of it. Dead money is 9. All right. Last but not least, Terrace Marshall's probably a guy that's going to get cut. And where is... Well, I didn't see Jeremy Chin. Where's Jeremy Chin at? Oh, maybe he's over here. Jeez. Okay, so they're already off the board, but you're going to have to save money. I mean, that's the only guys I think we would save money off of by getting rid of them. I mean, unless you're able to get rid, you cut, unless you cut Shaq. But again, now we have, if you cut those guys, we go basically $10 million in more cap space. All right. And then this also goes up too, because then we're at $145 million in cap space too. I mean, if I'm the Panthers, I'm either looking to trade these guys. So I'm either looking to trade Shaq or cut him. Dante, same thing. Ian, Hayden, Terrace. And then, okay, so Jeremy Chin, you can't do nothing with him because they didn't re-sign him or anything. And these guys are all free agents on this list over here. So there's a method to my madness, I promise. Well, guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Appreciate everyone joining. I hope everyone enjoyed today's show. That was a fun mock draft. We'll definitely do more of those coming up. Definitely going to have some man content. I'm still working out on this El Gato thing to help, so I can start streaming that with you guys here soon. So be on the lookout for that as well. I greatly appreciate everyone's support. We're on the road to 5,000K, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the lives as well. It goes a long way. Feel free to join the Discord. The link tree's down below to join the Discord. You can follow me on all these social medias, and also don't forget about our sponsorship, betusa.com. Sign up for free today. You get 125% bonus on that first bet. And we're getting close to the end of the season, so you don't want to miss out on that. All right, guys. I appreciate every one of y'all. And as always, y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. Peace.